How's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of Oh No Sports. As you guys know by now, this is the best place for all NFL news, my favorite takes of the week, my favorite bets of the week, and even featured sport of the week. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about last week. Let's talk about Monday night. Drew Lock with a legacy game. Even though it broke my heart on one of our bets of the week, I'm happy for him. I mean, that after the game press conference interview was unbelievable. He was tearing up, gave all glory to God, all glory to his teammates. It's the kind of leader you want to have on a team. That was awesome. The Eagles' downfall, I mean, the Bears breaking my heart again. It's a lot to talk about in the last week. So first off, we'll talk about the fantasy football sleepers. I mean, I don't want to keep patting myself on the back here, but our guy, Rashee Rice, I mean, another 9-catch, 90-yard touchdown week. That's 24 points in the playoffs, in case you didn't know, in fantasy. I started him again. I got a text from one of our subscribers, shout out Jack Lewandowski, texted me, Rashee Rice, league winner, let's go. He picked him up, here we go. That's a league winner right there. We got him in the flex spot on my team. Another fantasy football sleeper for the OGs on Oh No Sports is Curtis Samuel. He went for 5 for 40 and 2 TDs. I started him late because Tyreek was out. That guy's unreal. Rashee Rice is awesome. He's Mahomes' guy. Those are two great things I saw last week. Unfortunately, as I said, the Eagles -4 missed for our bets of the week. We had Eagles -4 that missed. We had Broncos +5. Very bad pick. Their defense looked like Swiss cheese. They give up 3 points the week before. Then we take them on Oh No Sports. They give up 42. I mean, come on now. But anyways, and then lastly, our whale of the week, still going strong, Aiden O'Connell. That was a smack. I don't know if you guys saw on the Instagram. If you don't follow the Instagram, by the way, go ahead and give it a follow right now at Oh No Sports. We posted a funny graphic. Aiden O'Connell looked like Tom Brady in the first half. He hit our over in yards 203 in the first half. He was balling. I don't know what happened in that Thursday night game. Talk about an anomaly in the NFL. 84 points scored between the Chargers with Easton Stick at QB and the Raiders with Aiden O'Connell. I mean, that was nuts. So that was exciting to watch on Thursday. Now we'll jump into our favorite comments of last week. We got Ethan Shakani talking about he wants more NCAA basketball on the channel. He wants Final Four prediction, sleeper maybe, that no one's talking about. And he also wants who I think is going to win it all. As you know, we do it right on the cuff here at Oh No Sports. So I'm going to start with my sleeper that not a lot of people are talking about. I was a big fan of them last year. They didn't really live up to their potential, but almost everyone that's important on that team stayed. Texas A&M. They're 7-4. They're from the SEC. Wade Taylor, their guard, one of their guards, is one of the best guards in the country. I'd say he's a top 3 guard in America right now. Not many people are talking about him. He can go for 20 any night. He can go for 30 any night. The other night he had 34. He's a bucket. They almost beat Houston. They brought him to the wire to 4 points. No one's talking about him because they're pretty deep down in the SEC right now because they haven't played well in conference. They also got Henry Coleman, who's their 6'9", power forward, center kind of combo. He averages 13 and 9. He's good. I think this is a team that if you play against them late in the tournament, Wade Taylor can put up a bucket at any time he needs, and also Henry Coleman's a troublesome big for any team to play against. So I think that's my sleeper this year. If they can get into the tournament and be an 8 or 9 seed, I really think they can cause some issues because they can score at will on any team, and they're so athletic, they're tough to play against. And then we'll talk about my favorite to win it all. I think UConn, they're sitting at 5 right now in the NCAA poll. Even though Purdue, Arizona is getting all the talk, Ethan specifically, I know he's a diehard Purdue fan. I'm not counting them out by any means. Edie's tough, but I think UConn is a really, really good pick to win it all because they've got 4 guys averaging over 13 points a game. That's something in the tournament. You need depth at scoring, and they've got that in numbers there at UConn. So they got 2 guys projected in the top 15. They got Castle, who's a projected lottery pick, top 5. Then they have their 7-2 center, Klingden, who's a top 15 pick as well. This team's going deep in the NCAA tournament, no matter what, UConn. Even though they won it last year, I think they're coming back. As I said, 4 guys averaging over 13. That's something you need in the tournament. I've got confidence in UConn. And yeah, I mean, I'd say if you're going to place a futures bet on anybody, it should be UConn. They'll probably give you decent odds right now. I don't know what they are specifically, but they'll probably give you pretty good odds. Our second comment comes from my brother Braden. He talks about our sweet, sweet prince, Connor Bedard, the Prince of Chicago, some are calling him. So in case you don't know the hype around Connor Bedard, in case you're an NBA fan or an NFL fan, I'm going to compare him to a Zion Williamson of the NBA, where he's hyped up like a generational talent. Connor Bedard is one of probably the top 3 most hyped up prospects since I've been alive. So since 2001, I'd say Patrick Kane, another Chicago product, Connor McDavid, who's the best player in the NHL, and then Connor Bedard falls into that category. Right now, he's got 26 points in 30 games. What you probably didn't know if you're not an NHL fan is he's a 2005 birth year. He's 18 years old, and he's not turning 19 for another few months. This guy is young, and he's exceeding what almost every scout, even the guys that loved Connor Bedard, thought he would. He's on pace to score about 80 points in 82 games on the worst team in the NHL. Unfortunately, as a Chicago sports fan, the Blackhawks are no good. And Bedard is basically, he's our sweet, sweet prince, as Braden said. And I love that comment because I haven't talked about him much as a Chicago sports fan. He's unbelievable. I mean, they need to continue to build around him with a next top draft pick. They'll be in the lottery next year as well for a top 10 pick again. But yeah, I love the comments from Ethan and Braden. And I love the comments, seeing all you guys commenting about the new mic as well. Saw Gabby, Piska, a bunch of different people commenting. As I always say, I want you guys to comment. I want you guys to debate me. Say, hey, Owen, I don't like that take. Or Owen, I love that take. I completely support that. So now we'll jump into week 16 and talk about what we got. We got some treats this week. The NFL is the best league in the world. I mean, how do they know that on Christmas Eve night game, they got the 2 best teams in the NFL? It's almost like they have the script. Not going to say they don't. For the bettors out there, you never know what they have because some of the stuff that happens in the NFL is unbelievable. But week 16 action, we got the 2 best teams, probably undisputably, in the league. Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are -5 at home against the Ravens after the Ravens put a beating on the good Jaguars away. I mean, I don't know who's going to win this game. I like the Ravens just simply because I'm a Ravens guy. I'm a Lamar guy. But the way that McCaffrey and Brock Purdy are playing right now, I mean, McCaffrey went 200 yards and 3 TDs again. How are you not going to say he's the most valuable player in the NFL? I don't know. But anyways, they're -5. They're playing on Christmas Eve. This is a treat for all of us NFL fans. I know my mother's not too happy about the Niners and the Ravens playing on Christmas Eve because I know I'll be glued to the screen. But I'm excited for that. I want you to drop your predictions down low. I think I'm going to go 28-24 Ravens. That's my prediction. I don't normally do predictions here, but I like the Ravens money line. I do want to say, prayers up to Keaton Mitchell. If you didn't see, that's their star 6th-round rookie running back. Unfortunately, gruesome leg injury, Nick Chubb-esque. He's going to be done for the year. They announced it already. That's prayers up to him and his family, but that's a big loss for the Ravens because he's a third dimension in that rushing attack. But I do think the Ravens are still a good football team. I don't know if they'll beat the 49ers, but I like them to take them down. Big matchup. Drop your predictions down low, though. And do you think Purdy is that guy and he's good enough to take down this Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey defense that the Ravens have? I mean, this is the special group that the Ravens got. And we'll talk about some divisional matchups that are happening and some big matchups that are also happening this week, week 16. We got the Cowboys and Dolphins at Dolphins. That's not a divisional matchup, but that's a 10-4 matchup. 2 teams. Dolphins proved us wrong last week. I talked about how the Dolphins going to lose out to the Jets. They showed ONO Sports. They're here to stay. I'll talk about the Dolphins a little later with my favorite bet of the week, but that's a big game. I want you to drop your predictions. The Cowboys looked a little fraudulent last week against the Bills. They got beaten down. I'm curious to see if they come back against the Dolphins. And then I got the Jags against the Bucks. I'm a big fan of the Bucks here because Baker just went into Lambeau. Here's a little snippet nugget for you guys on Oh No Sports. I know you guys know we love the stats. Baker Mayfield's the first ever quarterback to go into Lambeau and put up a perfect passer rating. Let that sink in. 158.3 passer rating for Baker. He played out of his mind. I mean, he was seeing everything, seeing every read, getting out of pressure, running. Baker's balls to the wall. He plays his heart out every game like it's his last. I love Baker. I don't know how you can't. Walk on to first overall pick, to cut from teams. Now he's on the Bucs, filling in for Brady. I like Baker to take down the Jags this week. Trevor Lawrence looked good, but not great. And I like the Bucs to take down the Jags this week. Another big game we got is the NFC North. That's Lions versus Vikings. Lions looked pretty good last week, taking down our Broncos. They took them down pretty easily. I think the Lions kind of beat down the Vikings here. Even though it's a divisional matchup, the Lions are playing good. They got a great offense. Goff's looking good. Their run attack, Jahmyr Gibbs. Everyone was making fun of the Lions for picking Gibbs. Oh, we just got Montgomery. Well, that two-dimensional rushing attack is nuts. It's tough to stop. And I'm a big fan of that. They ran all over the Broncos last week. So I think the Lions will take down the Vikings pretty handily. But drop your prediction. You think the Vikings will upset them? I don't know. Lastly, we got the Steelers at home against the Bengals. Battle of backup QBs. I like the Bengals in this one, even though they're going on the road. Steelers just don't really have a good offense, unfortunately. Whether it's Pickett, whether it's Mitch Trubisky, they're kind of just struggling offensively. I like the way the Bengals are clicking a little bit. So I like the Bengals in this one. But drop your predictions. We got a lot of good matchups this week. The NFL is really treating us nice, as they usually do. I mean, it's the best league in the world. There's no doubt about it. That's why we got a channel here at Oh No Sports, because of this wonderful league. Now we'll jump into our favorite bets of the week. So we got Dolphins. It's our first pick. Dolphins at home, -120 against the Cowboys. Cowboys looked fraudulent last week, as I said. Dolphins coming back to health a little bit. Tyreek's more healthy. Sat out last week. I think he'll play this week. If he does, I'm pretty high on the Dolphins. -120. I'm a big fan of that. Secondly, we got our whale play of the week. That's Alvin Kamara over 49.5 rushing yards. He's hitting 4 of the last 4 games. He's playing the Rams. They're a middle-of-the-field rushing attack. They got the 15th best rushing defense in the NFL. Kamara's had over 49.5 rushing yards in 4 of the last 4. I'm a big fan of this for our whale play of the week. Then our third bet, we got Josh Allen anytime TD against the Los Angeles Chargers. I like this a lot. The Chargers, as I said, have been struggling. They let up 60 points last week. I got Josh Allen anytime rushing TD, -105. He's had 4 in his last 3 games. He's hitting all of his last 3 games. I'm a big fan of this one. If I had a secondary whale play, actually, I like all 3 of these plays a lot. But so we got Josh Allen, -105 on the road, rushing TD. I'm a big fan of that little QB draw, 5-yard up the middle. So those are our 3 bets of the week. Now we'll go into our featured sport of the week. See what the wheel has to say. Okay, college basketball. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We talked about UConn being a front runner. I also love Purdue. I shouted out Ethan earlier with the comment from last video, one of my favorite comments. But I like the way Purdue's playing. They got Zach Edey, who returned. He's a 7'4" center. I mean, he just dominates the glass. He's averaging 20 a game again. They got Braden Smith as well, who's just an unsung hero of that offense. He, for some reason, I don't understand why, but on a lot of betting books, he gets projected 10 or 11 points a game. He's averaging like 15 a game this season. I'm a big fan of his, and I like Purdue, the way they're playing. Kansas is another team sitting at the top of the leaderboard, top of the rankings. Hunter Dickinson from Michigan last year transferred there. Kansas is good. I mean, they've got great guard play. They got Hunter Dickinson down low. They're a good team. I don't see them losing if they're playing at home very much this season, even though they're in the Big 12. And that's a great conference with Texas and other teams like that are really special in there. But I just don't see them losing. And another team that I think is a sleeper in college basketball is Texas. They have I don't know if you guys remember Oral Roberts back in the day when they were dominating. I think that was 2 years ago. on their crazy run with Max. I struggle pronouncing his name, Max Abrahams. I'll put up a picture of him so you guys know who I'm talking about. He transferred from Oral Roberts after averaging 20 a game at Oral Roberts to Texas. He's their starting guard now. He averages 16.5 or 17 a game. I like the way Texas plays. They're kind of similar to Texas A&M, the way I talked about earlier. They've just got a lot of athleticism, and that's tough to play against for a lot of teams. Matchup nightmares. They got 3 or 4 guys that are in the 6'5 to 6'8 range that can jump out of the gym, that can play anywhere between the 2 and the 4, and that's just tough to play against for any team. So I do like Texas as well, the Longhorns. I don't know if they'll compete for the title, but I do like them to have a deep tournament run. So now we'll go through everything one more time, kind of run through summary of the episode. Comment what you guys think first about the college basketball, what my takes are. If you think Texas is no good or you think Purdue's got no shot and you're an Indiana fan. But yeah, comment below what you think of my takes this episode. Comment what you think, score predictions about the San Fran against the Ravens this week. That's a marquee matchup in the NFL. No surprise, the NFL knew that was coming somehow, some way. But here we are. What do you think about that? Best 2 teams in the NFL. What do you think about the Cowboys-Dolphins? Do you like our pick, Dolphins money line? Or are you kind of straying towards the Cowboys and they're going to have a comeback week? And what do you think about the divisional matchups? Are the Vikings going to surprise the Lions? And are the Bucs going to come back down to earth after their almost perfect game against the Packers? I don't know. Comment below. As always, subscribe, like, and comment on Oh No Sports. We got our whale play with Alvin Kamara over 49.5 rushing yards. Comment what you think about that. Subscribe. Follow the Instagram, Oh No Sports. Follow the TikTok at Oh No Sports. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week. Peace.